Thank you. Thanks for coming to the last talk of the day. So after that, it's a party. So we are all going to have party. So we're going to see and reap some benefits from Android Studio. Let's talk about me a little bit. My name is Sweety Bertilla. I work as a principal Android engineer at Comcast. I work in the Xfinity app. If you're already using Xfinity services, you probably will be using Xfinity app. And if you're seeing some cool IoT features in that, I was the one who worked on it. It uses MQTT, and also we are exploring Matter protocols recently. My hobbies include fishing, so I just learned fishing, but I'm so hooked to it. I'm just waiting to catch a big fish. I know this is the smallest, but I am waiting to catch a big fish. But then, if you have kids, you have to play hide and seek or something that they love. So that's my other hobby. Our next slide is going to look at some of the features of Android Studio. But before that, I want to give a history of that. So who haven't used Android Studio? Probably all of us, right? But every time when an Android Studio version is released, have you gone and looked at what other features are released? Anybody? Yeah, one person. I have never. Only one thing I check is my app working? My app is working, I'm good to go. If it's not working, okay, what's the issue? Let's figure it out and fix it. But then there was this Android Studio Electric Eel was released, and Kyle is not here, so a person from our team, he said, hey, Electric Eel is released, but also it has some cool features. Then we thought like, this is nice, and I run and organize an internal code labs in our organization. So we thought, why don't we try this as a code lab? That's where we thought like, so many cool features are introduced that helps us to test, debug, and write code better. Why not we try them out? So that's what I thought like, we should learn some of them and explore on them and try looking into them and see how it's useful for us. So I'm going to cover some of them in today's presentation. What is Firebase Crashlytics? Anybody has used Firebase Crashlytics? Cool, many of you. If you're not, it's a crash reporting tool. So it reports ANR, crashes, and non-fatal errors. It's a web console. So once you integrate to your Android Studio, so you go to the web console, and you see the crash reports. It's nice, but every time you have to log into the web console and see that. If you want to learn about, here's a link that you can go and explore about Firebase. But I'm not going to talk about how to use Firebase Crashlytics. I'm going to talk about how you can integrate it into Android Studio. So you can see the report in Android Studio itself. So when you're developing, you don't have to wait for it to release and then somebody logging into the web console and saying like, oh, there are so many crash reports are coming. Or your QA is saying that, hey, so many crash reports are coming. But that's after you developed. But when you're developing and you're passing internal APKs and you see that, it's so cool, right? It's available from Electric Eel. So if you're using anything above Electric Eel, you should be able to use and see the Crashlytics in your Android Studio. Let's look at a quick video. Oh, sorry. Before that, I want to see how you can do that. So how do you launch Crashlytics? So you can go to Android Studio Tools, Firebase, and you can launch Crashlytics. You would see a panel like this. But Firebase supports other features as well. So you'll be seeing remote config and all others. Just go to Crashlytics and click on the drop-down button. So once you clicked on it, it will tell you how to integrate with Crashlytics. It's pretty easy. You just click on it. It will give you all the steps that you can do to integrate it. So once you're integrated, you would see something like this. It's saying like, your Android Studio is now connected with Firebase, so you're good to go. After that, you come back to the same panel. You would see something like, oh, now you're connected. The next thing is adding dependencies. So it will ask you, can I go ahead and add dependencies? You can just click on like there, accept changes, and use it. But if you're already using Firebase, other features, make sure there is any version conflict, because sometimes that will happen if you're using already other Firebase. So you can, otherwise, you can just click on accept changes. It will go ahead and update your plugins and dependencies. So you don't have to even go and look for what's the version I have to do. Everything is taken care of for you. After that, you'll see like, your Crashlytics plugin is updated. So once it's all updated, where would you see that? In your Android Studio, mostly you can see it in the bottom panel. That's called App Quality Insights. If you don't find it, you can definitely go to Android Studio, View, Tools, App Quality Insights. You can launch it there as well. With that, let me see how I integrated a crash and how I looked into it. Let's play this. So here you can see that's a very small button, and I'm saying, like, click on the button, crash it. So I'm clicking on this button, and you see the crash. But this is my crash, right? But what if it's happening for someone else, developer, I share the APK with? I could check their crashes as well. And I could see the reports. So it is giving me there's a crash, and stack trace. I can click on the class to go and even fix it, which is pretty cool. And also, it will give me what are the devices. What if when I'm testing with Samsung phone, it didn't have a problem, but Pixel, it had a problem, right? I could see through this, I would say, oh, OK, now I know it's only happening on Pixel. Let me go and fix it. And other cool part is I can also launch the web console from my Android Studio and go get more detailed reports from there, which gives you all the related details that's available, which is pretty cool. So try Firebase Crashlytics if you're not, and see how cool you can check the crash reporting in your Android Studio. With that, let's look into this next feature, which is resizable emulator. I'll come back to this image, which is nice desert, tiramisu. When you want to test your device on a phone or a tablet, what would you do? This is what I'll do. I'll go to a device manager, create a device. I'll create an emulator with the phone dimensions. I test it. Then again, I'll go create an emulator for tablet, and then I test it, because that's how I could do it. But now, which is available from Electric Eel, you could actually go to the emulator, create device. You can select resizable, which is experimental, which is available again from Electric Eel, and select the tiramisu system image. Now you get the picture, why I put it. And then you can, after you've done it, you can run your app in a phone, unfolded foldable, or a tablet. So this is where you can launch in 2 different places. That is from your run devices. You can click on Device Manager, or you can go to Tools and click on Device Manager. And then you pick the resizable emulator, pick tiramisu, then you're gone. So here's a quick demo. You can see a very simple text is there and a button. But the text is very important text. It's asking, did you all enjoy today's DroidCon? I did, and hope you all did. So this is me running my app, and I'm checking in tablet. All looks good, right? The spacing looks good. Left spacing, right spacing, all the spacing looks good. But now I want to check how it looks on a phone. I'm sorry. Should play this. So now I can go and change to unfolded foldable or a phone. So I'm changing to a phone. Now I see it. It's not looking great. Like, I don't have a spacing. All tablet looks great, but not on my phone. So this way I can test all my spacing fonts on 3 different devices at the same time using one single emulator, which is pretty cool. It says it is still on experimental phase, so you might see some glitches. So give it a try and test it out. Let's go to device mirroring. How do you demo your apps? Like, we all use device mirroring. Anybody has used Visor? Yes. Everybody uses. I use Visor. Anything else anybody has used? I've heard of this Android. I've not used it, but I've heard it's popular. Any other things you have used? Yeah, Screen Copy. Yes, now you can use Android Studio from Electric Eel versions that you can do device mirroring, which is pretty cool. So we are going to see how you can do device mirroring 2 ways. One is USB. What if you don't have the USB? And you're like, where did I lose my cable? That's where you can use the Wi-Fi, where you can scan the QR code and pairing code, and you can mirror your device. I'm going to quickly go through the USB. Most of you have used it. But it's the same thing. You go to developer settings, make sure you enable USB debugging, then connect your phone to the tablet, launching devices, and then you should be able to see yours. So this is me connecting to a USB cable, seeing my Samsung device. But what if I don't have a cable or I lost it? I still can do it. I just need a Wi-Fi. So I can go to my Android Studio, click on pair devices using Wi-Fi. When you do that, you have two options. One is pair using QR code. So you can see the QR code. And it also says go to developer option, wireless debugging, pair using QR. Make sure you use the QR code through there because you need to enable the US wireless debugging. I went and launched my camera and stared the QR code and I'm like, why it's not working? So make sure you go to the developer settings and follow the steps. The other way you can do is using the pairing using the code. It will find devices in the same Wi-Fi and it'll ask, do you want to pair it? So you have to enter the code and you can do it. This is how it's in your phone. So as I said, go to developer options, turn on wireless debugging, and then do this. So here it will say that once you scan the QR code, you'll be seeing something like this. It says your Samsung device is connected. So now without any wire, I can still mirror my device. Same thing with the pairing code. You would enter the pairing code. Once you entered, it will say your Samsung device is connected. Isn't that cool? So here's a demo I want to show you where I am pairing my devices, and I can say that. So why mainly I want to show this is, recently I'm working on a feature where I'm collecting a lot of UI logs. So my test phone has lots of UI logs. I need to share those logs with my platform folks. I have this feature like copy to clipboard, but then I don't have any of the communication apps in it because it's a test phone. That how do I share it? By this mirroring, it's so cool that I can copy and share it. That's what you're seeing here. So I have this text where I click on copy. I've written a code to copy to clipboard. Now I can go and paste it to any communication media, and I can share it with the other folks. Only thing I noticed is if your log size is too heavy, Android Studio doesn't have the capability to copy. Wiser still does, so I verified, is it my fault or like something is going on there? Wiser did copy, but I did see issue with Android Studio. But if you have smaller text, they are good to copy and do it. This is easier, so I can share my code, my logs or my UI things with other folks. Next is Logcat. How many of us use Logcat? All of us, right? Anyone who's using Android Studio, never say you've not used your Logcat because that's the source of seeing your logs, printing your logs, debugging your app, right? So it's a very useful and common tool to capture logs. Have you all used the features that's available in the latest Logcat? Have you used all the features? No, right? So we just run the Logcat, it just prints everything, okay, we are done. Probably like screenshot and record, that's I've taken a lot because I want to share the screenshot of my UI. Mostly I'll see like, oh, it's running too much, let me delete. I want to start from here. Or I'll pause, I want to go through the logs, I want to restart. These are the common things we'll use. But there are other cool features. You can filter specific things which you need to look into the log, so it's easier to debug. Using package level, or you can using tag, or you can using age, timestamps, or so many things. Just put ABCD, like in that Logcat thing. It'll show you so many pop-ups, and it also give you a quick summary of how you can use it, which will tell you like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. And also you can do a standard and compact view. Standard just gives you everything, but compact you can filter like what you want to see. And you can split the panel to compare logs, and you can do a soft wrap, we'll see about it, and you can also adjust your buffer size. I think it'll be good to see with that with a demo. I'm using a Sunflower app, which I got it from Google Sites. It's open source. So let's look at it here. So this is my Logcat panel. In the left, you could see the timestamp, right? The time and the time and the date. And then there's a process ID. And then I see here is the tag. And here is my package ID, and here are my log messages, and here is my log levels. So here it says, you can see here, package.mine, right? So the package.mine is I'm telling, only filter the current ID package. If I don't want to do it, I just remove it. It will print everything in your app. Not your app, your phone. So let's play this and see. What are the other things you can do it? So now I want to filter this based on a tag, right? Did you see the drop down? Like when I selected tag, let me do a pause. It has so many different options. There's one tag, which also gives a quick summary. It's telling me you can only filter that contains string. But if you want to filter very, very specific string, you can use the equal to as well. If you don't want to use certain string, like you don't want to filter certain tags, you can use the hyphen. So I can remove all those tags that I don't want to look into it. Let's play. So here I'm just putting a tag and I'm saying like, I'm typing, it's also giving me a quick lookup of what are the things that's already in the log. So I can go and look at it and see like, okay, I want to look at one of this specific logs, so I can go and type them. So here is me typing, looking which log to look at. So doing an equal to, I'm saying only open whichever is OpenGL renderer. So I can see only those logs. So now it's very clean, especially I'm working on MQTT, as I said, and IoT. We have so many logs because we cannot use Charles proxy. Most of you will know if you're a HTTP, if your app is using HTTP, you'll be using logs. But we couldn't use that because ours is MQTT. So we are so much dependent on logcat. And filtering using these tags and messages are very, very helpful for us. It'll be helpful for you as well once you try it. So now I don't want to look at specific tag. This is where I was saying like this view root IMPL is like when you're swiping, it just keeps on populating it. I want all this garbage to go away so I can only look at the cleaner logs. So I can do that as well. So I can say that, take that. I cannot just stop with one tag. You see, I'm also typing another tag. So I can keep on adding and adding and adding as much as I want to see the filters in my logcat. And in the sidebar, there are a lot of icons that you can use. So this is the soft wrap. So you can see here, there is a message that is there. It says there's an error, but it says window, something, something error. But then I cannot read it. How do you read it, mostly? You scroll, right? So we scroll to the end, and we have to read it. That's going to be very, very annoying. But there is a button called soft wrap. When you go and click on the soft wrap, it will wrap all the messages, so it's easier for you to read. Now I can read the whole error message, which becomes very easier for me. And other messages as well. The other one, the cool part, the other one which I'm going to see is the split panel. I'm sorry, this is the different standard view and compact view. So in the compact view, you can see that it is reducing everything. So you could see right now, you only see the timestamp, and then you see the package ID, but the package ID is reduced in length that I cannot read my full package ID, and then my messages are there. But I can modify that. I could go and say that I cannot read my package ID. Can I increase the size? I could go that by saying like, expand my package ID size. So, and also I can change everything I want here. So I can have a modified view for my logcat. And once I apply that, I can see it more clearly. Then you have the split panel. So when you split, so you want to compare to logs, you can split as many panels as you want. You can split across or bottom. So as you're splitting the panels, you can compare the logs and see. So here at the left, I have some tags I filtered. On the right, I can have different tags I can filter, and I can compare them seeing the timestamp. Especially, again, to bring back to my thing, like we have MQTT, so we have like a connection, and then all logs and disconnected. So I want to see, are my logs all coming back because my MQTT was properly connected, so I can compare with the timestamps in the parallel panels, which is pretty cool. And the other part is, which again we had a problem, was this. I couldn't scroll more logs because we were printing a lot of logs, but I couldn't scroll and go and check them because the buffer size was very less. You could also increase your buffer size. So you could go to the preferences, select logcat, and you'll see something called tools, logcat. You can adjust your buffer size as much as you want. You can even reduce it if you don't want, if you want to clean up and rewrite on it, reduce it or increase it. This is what I am doing. Like, I want more buffer size, I can go and increase it or decrease it here. And then you just have to apply. That's pretty cool. With that, let's go to the next feature, layout validation. What is layout validation? Layout validation will help you visualize your lint issues. So any lint issues you're seeing, as a developer, you can also check them and fix them ahead of time instead of waiting for your QA, and then your QA is reporting back bugs. This will help you. You should have seen in the title itself, I mentioned XML. I know we are all mostly in Compose, but this is very specific to XML. Sorry about that. But you do have something similar in Compose, which is called Layout Inspector, which we'll see next. How do you launch this layout validation? You go to the View, Tools window, and then you see layout validation. Remember, this will only be available if you have an XML. If you're in a Compose world and you go to this, you won't even see this layout validation because it's very specific to XML. They won't even show it there in the dropdown. So by using the layout validation, you can see the UI errors, like you can visualize how your screen looks like. But what is the actual problem, the summary or the text? That's where you can go to layout and qualifier. So you again go to your View, Tools window, Problem, and click on Layout and Qualifiers. And there you could see the summary of the issue that's happening. So here you can see I have a very simple text view. I have button, and I think, oh, this is all looking fine. It's going to work. And I have 4 different strings. So I want to see how it works on different devices. So I go to the layout validation, and it's pretty cool. It's giving me all different reference devices. So it's giving me a phone, it's giving me a foldable, it's giving me a tablet, it's giving me even a desktop, how it's going to look like it. But does it look good? It looks on a phone fine, but visually I can see that all other devices, it's so messed up, right? So now I can go to the layout and qualifiers and check what's the problem. The first problem it is telling me is your button is too wide. You're not following the regulations of your button size. And it also tells me how much your button size is supposed to be. The cool part, again, is it highlights also which are the devices that are affected. So I can visually see as well as get a summary of it. Not only reference devices, I could also see for Wear OS. So if you're building an app for Wear OS, you could see that. It's again printing me all the problems that I could see here. First thing is, button is too big. But the second thing, it's also partially hidden. It is telling me where it's partially hidden. This is the nice part which I really love about it. If you're supporting more than 1 languages, have you tested, like as a developer, have you went to the settings, changed your locale and tested? No, we just give it to the QA. Just go test it. And then they'll come back with bugs saying like, in German, the text is cut off, Spanish, the text is cut off. But when you're developing, you could actually see that. Here, I just had a text which is saying like, life is beautiful. Yes, it is. But then, in German, it's cut off. It's not beautiful. So it is telling me, so it's telling me what the issue is. And also, if you're supporting accessibility, you could actually check your background color and your text color visually, like how people are going to see it. I don't want my button color to be like green, button text to be green, because the last one, they're going to have an issue to see the text at all, which is amazing that you can see. And also the font sizes. So font sizes also is broken on different font sizes. So if you're supporting something where, say for something like you want people to read on your text, so, or you're writing like a novel app or something like that, you want them to read it, you definitely need to check on the font sizes. So it's pretty cool. You can do all this in XML. But we don't have to stop there. We could look it into Compose as well, a little bit similar, which is called Layout Inspector. So the Layout Inspector will help you to debug your Compose layout. How? How many of you know how many recomposition is happening in your app after you started using Compose? There's no way to know, right? Because if you're sending a mutable state off, it could recompose. You won't know how many times it's recomposing. But if it's recomposing more than it's supposed to, it's going to affect your app performance. But now with latest Android Studio, you could actually check that. You can open component tree, look at your recomposition counts, and if you see like 5,000 recomposition counts is coming, definitely you need to fix it because that's going to affect your app size. App performance. You could also give a 3D view of your app. So you could see like how many layers you're building. Do you need all those layers? If something is hiding, which recently happened, like one of my UI was hiding, like, why is it hiding? This class is all good. And then I realized like some other layer was on top of it, and that was hiding it. Like by 3D view, you could know that what is going on in your app visually. So again, we are going to use the Sunflower app to see that. So let's look at a quick demo. So here's an app I have. So I want to open Layout Inspector. Always check View Tools window. Most of the cool features are there. So open Layout Inspector, you should see here. So you see in the left, there's a component tree. So I could click on the component tree once my thing is launched, and it will give me a view of all my layer of how it is built. It will also give you, if you're using XML, it will also give you that, but it won't give you the recomposition counts. So once you go to the lower level, here you can see the sunflower image and the text is recomposed once, which is good, great. But this is where if you see if the recomposition count is like really huge, something is going wrong, which will help you to fix it so easily. The other one which I talked about is the 3D layering, right? So you go to the right bottom and you click on that button, which says 3D mode. You will see the layer spacing is highlighted. So I can scroll, and I can actually visually see how my layering of my app is done. So I can see which is on the top layer, which is on the bottom layer. If my status bar is hidden, I'll know why. Because it's not on the topmost, it's on somewhere inside, and something is hiding it. So this is pretty cool to visualize, see, and fix issues. Actually, they have a lot there. I just thought these two are very important. But please play around. Click on all the buttons and play around and see how each works. There's another way you can also improve the performance of your compose by using composition tracing. So what is composition tracing? It helps you to analyze performance issues. There are two types of tracing are there. One is system tracing, and the other one is method tracing. So system tracing has a low overhead because it only will trace what you're telling it to trace. Method tracing goes very, very deep into what is your function call, which function is calling this, which dependency is calling that. So if you're adding method tracing, it might affect your app performance, but it gives a clear picture of how your app is behaving, where it is going on. So you can select a piece of your app while you're running it, and you can see in the CPU what's going on. Why suddenly my app is not performing well? You can actually see how much time it's taking to do that. You might need to have Android Studio Flamingo because this is supported from there. And you might also have to add all these dependencies there. Let's look at a quick demo of that. So here I have. I open. So you go here, and you see this profiler. You might have used Android Profiler before. If you're not, just go and click on this one, and this will launch this bottom part. And then you go to the CPU. You click on the CPU. Did I miss that part? Sorry. Okay. Oh, here it's coming. So you click on the CPU. Then you see system trace. You can click on it. So now you go play around with your app. It's capturing all your system traces right now. Then you can go whenever you want to stop. Just look at which is performing very bad. Just that page of your app. Go and play around with it. And then you can launch it. So here at the bottom, you can see how many levels of stack trace it's giving you for your app on the system level. You can select a piece of it, and you can see the flow of the stack trace. If you want to go deep dive into it, you can select one of them and select the flame chart. That's what I'll be doing shortly. So I'll select one of them. I want to see what's going on, why there is a performance issue. I select that. And then I go to the flame chart. And then you can see its stack trace. It's giving what was happening in that page of it. While I'm browsing, you could see there, it's giving not just where it's happening, it's giving me the line number, and also it's giving me how many seconds it took. This took like 1.8 milliseconds, which is good. But when you see a spike, when your app is performing bad, that's when you see like if it's taking like a minute or 2 minutes, that's where you can go and see, okay, I have to go to this text snack bar container, line number 73, and see what's going on. So this gives you the line number and as well as the time, which is pretty cool, which helps you to debug and fix it. Next one we are going to see is Compose Preview. Most of you will be using Compose Preview, I assume. Yeah. So, but the basic Compose Preview, like you've seen, tried like different things that they release in different Android Studio. That's where we are going to look into this. Have you done live updates? Like, have you noticed in the latest Android Studio, you don't have to go and rebuild. It'll lively update your preview, which is pretty good. I really like that. And also, you can see the system UI image. You can do device dimensions. You can do a dynamic color, locale, and multi-preview annotations. Let's look at a quick demo of that. So here is my app. I have my UI. But then it says a text and a button. But it doesn't show how it's looking on a phone, right? I want to see how it looks on a phone. So what I can do here is I can go and say, show system UI. The cool part is it'll give me the options to pick. So, and I set it to true. Now it's giving me the status bar and how it's looking on a phone. So now I know, OK, this in the center of my view. So it's not on the top or left. So I get that. And the other thing I can do is like check live updates. I could also disable it. But in this one, I'm not disabling it. The other part I'm doing is picking up device IDs. So they do provide a lot of Pixel devices, which you can pick from there, and you can see how it is looking on your UI itself. So you can see the font, the color, is everything looking on this Pixel device is fine. But I want to look at different dimensions. I can do that by using spec. So I can say spec, I can give the width, I can give the height, I can even give the DPI. So here I picked a tablet one, so it is giving me how it is looking on a tablet. I can adjust all these values and I can check them too. I'm just going to go back to Pixel just for the easy of this demo. Let me scroll a little bit more. So after this, we are going to see is wallpaper. This is where you can set dynamic color. So your button is blue. What if I want to see how it looks like a green or a red? I can use this wallpaper in preview, and I can actually see that. So you could see the button change to red, and also I can try changing it to green and check that as well. So these are pre-populated. I think you can also try dynamic ones. Next one is a local. So again, same thing. If you want, like XML we did see, right? So if I am supporting different languages, how it is supporting here, I can actually check in preview. So I can put the different language. If I'm supporting Spanish as well. So I want to see, is it showing fine on Spanish? So I put the locale as ES code, and I could see it's all looking good. I did change the button to Spanish, so that's why the button is still on English. But I want to see multi-preview. I just don't want to see one preview of things. I want to compare and see multi-preview. You can do that using annotations. This is where I'm creating two previews. I can name them, so I can see what are the names of them coming. So one I'm saying is small font English, and I'm setting a font for it, which is cool. Like you can have so many features that you can try in your preview to see how your UI looks like. And then I could create another one, and I could name it. I'm just fast forward a little bit. I just need to create an annotation class for that. So instead of doing @preview, I put that @annotation name. So now you see, I can actually see two previews. One is in English, one is in Spanish. So I can check both the locales, I can check both the fonts. And also you can do other things also. I can check two colors, like the wallpaper color, everything else I can do it. And it also give me the name. It is telling me small font English, and the other one, it was telling me as large font Spanish. So I could just check them with my preview itself, which is pretty cool. with that, let's go to our final and awesome one, StudioBot. Who has heard of StudioBot here? Cool, nice. Has anybody heard of ChatGPT? Seems new, right? We all use ChatGPT, right? If you're not used to it, it's an AI. So you can use this AI to ask you questions, to write an email to your boss, being a nice email to your boss, so they can do your appraisal. My appraisal is coming and my boss is here, so I can use ChatGPT to do that. The same like Google also has, it's called Bard, which is Google's conversational API. Anybody has used it? Cool, yeah. So what is StudioBot? It is a subset of the Bard, which is called, technical term is Cody. It uses the Pathways language model 2, the latest one, to do that. So it is a coding companion. So you have any coding questions, it's going to help you to answer it. It's only available in Hedgehog. Is Hedgehog released? No, right? It's still Flamingo, so Hedgehog. So it's in preview. So you have to install your Android Studio preview to see it. I'm going to quickly show a live demo. So here is my Android Studio preview. Always go to View Tools window to find the cool things. So I go here. I can find the StudioBot here. You could also find it at the right bottom, but you'll only see in Hedgehog. You won't be seeing in the latest release versions. So I say select StudioBot, it goes here. It's asking me to log in. I don't know if it has an account. I thought I already logged in. So it is going to ask you all this to allow. So once you're done, then you should be able to use it. So now it's asking me like, here are my sample things that I was trying to play around with it. So I was trying to like, give me some simple compose code or to help me to write a code to add some numbers. So I was just playing with it. One thing so you can do is, you see the sample code box it's printing? You could copy it. You could insert it. So I could copy, and I can go to my code, and I could paste it. Or I could insert. So it will tell me from where you want to insert. So if you're already having a code, I could say, OK, insert it here. So I can go here and just press insert. It'll just go and insert the code. And also the other thing is, it'll add it to a new Kotlin file as well. So I can click on this and say that, give a Kotlin file. I'll say like add. It goes and adds there. So that's pretty cool, so you can do it. One thing alone I noticed was that if it gives some reference links, it comes here. You cannot click on it, you cannot copy it, you cannot launch it. So I don't know what's the purpose of the reference link, because I feel like I have to type the whole thing, which is not easy, right? That's the only thing I felt it. So that's where you can use, why am I not seeing it? So there is a thumbs up and thumbs down, maybe because this is the old one. Let me type here, teach me compose. It is teaching me compose. And do you see here there's a thumbs up and thumbs down? Because that was a history, it was not showing it. You could say that it's a good response. You can help them by giving a thumbs up and saying, OK, I like the answer, but if you feel like it didn't give an correct answer, you can use a thumbs down. They will not use your code. That's what they have mentioned. So if you're printing a code to help it verify, it is not going to use your code to train it. It will use your thumbs up and thumbs down to train its AI. It's an experimental. Just go play around with it. Don't use it for your company code. Check with your company policies to use it. Yeah. With that, probably have to find my presentation. Say, thank you. Thanks for coming.